Hello and welcome. I'm Enigmius, and this is episode 24 of the Ultimate Feed the Beast Reloaded. Today, finally, we're going to build something that will bring us that much closer to a working Mega Turtle. It's been a long run. We've had to change a bunch of things. Things haven't worked the way we expected they were going to. But we're finally in a position where we can start assembling things. We've done enough testing. It's time to get something working. So you can see I'm basically copying the design that I last showed you guys in the creative world where we tested it out block for block. I didn't really want to be making any changes between now and the last episode, because if I did, then I have to explain it all to you guys, or you're going to try and make something and it's not going to be the same. So get the vertical movement module in place. It seems to want to work for the most part. But we get the two pieces together, do a little bit of testing up and down. Yes, it likes to move up and down. Much smaller, you'll notice, than the previous iteration, but we've already encountered a problem. So fortunately, the problem was a minor one, and I'm going to show you guys so that if you're trying to duplicate this, you can see exactly where it was, and you'll see how easy of a fix it is. The way I was sending the redstone signal to the drive motor to tell it to go was with a redstone tube frame right here. Now, if we look at the way the motors are set up, that means that that signal would be entering the motor from the drive face, which is a no-go. You can't do that. You have to send the redstone signal from some other face. Bottom, sides, just not the drive face, which is fine. The fix is very, very easy. If you remember, we set this guy up very beginning of the build. If you're making one of these, right, we set it up with the L-shaped 3 and 3 redstone tube frames. You see, I left these covers here marking which one I was, or panels marking which one had to be adjusted. So then, in order to make this whole thing work, what we do, actually, we'll just we'll do it real time here, is you've got this shape, and then you put another redstone tube frame here, and then we've already got panels. Hooray! We put some panels here, and then in order to make it reach the motor, you have to put one more redstone tube frame right here, and that's it. That's the fix, believe it or not. So sometimes these things are difficult to locate, very easy to fix. Now, if you've already got yours in place and you want to make that fix, easiest thing to do would be to take out your filter and your retriever, put the redstone tube frame, put the panels onto that, and then put the filter and the retriever back. Again, very, very simple fix. It took me about half an hour to find what the problem was, but now that we've got it beat, we should be in much better shape. So as soon as we get that one little thing fixed, you can see it starts moving in the horizontal directions. We are good to go. Now I just have to make another one of those as soon as we stop shooting at creepers, making a mess all over the damn place. Very, very quick to build these. Once you've built one, because they're not very large and they're not very complicated, you spend more time spinning the motors around than you do actually putting any of the rest of the pieces in place, which is kind of good, because these can be very, very tiring frame builds, mentally fatiguing, we could call it. And sometimes the simpler I can make a component, a module, the easier it is to get through the rest of the build. I know our next build after this one with frames is going to be another very, very challenging build in order to make it work and actually be interesting. So for the time being, if I can get 2 motor units in place without any kind of major catastrophes, then I think that'll be kind of a good thing. Now, unlike the previous build, you saw, and I mentioned, they were basically, the 2 motor halves were pushing off one another, and that's how it moved, and that's how it was implementing the twin chunk loader system. In this case, we're just using 2 identical motor units. They're each capable of moving independently. Each one will eventually have a chunk loader on it, so that one moves, the other one stays still, and then back and forth. We've already talked about that so many times, you probably want to slap me every time I start describing it again. So this one is basically, the bottom unit is just about done. It's just a matter of getting the final touches on the panels, the hollow panels, the wireless receivers, all the different control pieces making sure that everything is as it should be in order to work. Doesn't take much. Doesn't take much at all. Much easier as well. Like, I've done builds where everything was done in the same area with all kinds of wiring and cables running all over the place to the various different components, but being able to do things with wireless receivers is definitely worth the investment of ender pearls and glowstone and all that other stuff to make the different components for the wireless bits. So now you can see I made a mistake here, only it's not a design issue, it's just me forgetting to put a couple of blocks in place. So there's two batteries right now, there we go, that weren't properly held in place. So get the two pieces connected together, and then we can move them side to side, line it up underneath the other one, and that's basically it. The rest of the build is going to focus on the bores and the gathering and the storage. The motor units are 99% done. I'm actually just building a cage around them so that the bottom motor unit can't get away from the top one if there's some sort of a mistake in the control system. So this is where I get to take a bit of a break in terms of design, because we're putting the faces on the turtle that will contain the arcane bores, which is a lot more forgiving than frame motor setups. There's still certain things that I need to keep in mind. One, the bases for the arcane bores need to be able to receive a redstone signal in order to operate. Two, need to be able to gather up the materials that the bore is producing, and in order to do that we need relays. And three, we need to make it all stick together in a way that isn't going to cause the corners of the faces to mash together. That's actually one of the more tricky things to keep in mind, and this is actually my third attempt at designing a face that I was happy with, and I scrapped the other two attempts because they were not really very interesting. So this time around, I'm kind of taking a look at things from the point of view of just getting everything in place in the most simple level. Now you can see the marble blocks that I put in are marking temporarily where the bore heads are going to go. So then I can put the bases on, and the bases obviously have to contact the bore heads either with their top or their bottom face, and then the relays have to contact the bases, and also a redstone tube so that they can feed the output into something other than nothing. Obviously that's no good. We need them to be able to send the stuff somewhere. The redstone tube has to be reaching the bases, and when it's all said and done, as always, everything has to be able to touch a frame. So that's what I'm setting up here. As you can see, it's basically sort of almost like a hook shaped thing that's going on there, that's going around the relay and contacting the base and also the marble, which will eventually be the arcane bore head. And what I didn't realize as I was doing this, because obviously I'm up close, and when things are directly in your face, sometimes you don't get a chance to sort of evaluate aesthetically, but I actually kind of like this design, because honestly, one of my biggest concerns is I did not want this to end up as just a very, very clear as day swastika. It kind of still resembles that. It's pretty hard to not make it do that without making it a square. But this is interesting enough that it's not just, you know, a flat face on a cube without being anything vulgar and obscene. So it actually came together fairly well, all things considered. And then I put some covers on because I understand even when you're working on it and moving around, it's sort of hard to see what things look like because the frames all sort of merge together into one big blob. But with the covers on, it actually starts to give you an idea of what the final shape and design on each face will be, which is maybe not bad. So basically we've got a pretty good handle on the structure for the Mega Turtle. What we need now is to finish making all the components for it. Now the enchants, they're not going so well, to be honest with you. I've been doing a little bit of filtering from time to time, going through and grabbing the enchants that really truly are garbage. I've got so many Disjunction 3 enchants coming in. I could keep 2 or 3 and throw the rest away without batting an eyelash. I'll never ever ever use them. See, there we go. There's another one. Protection 3, same deal. We're over here now in this chest, and I'm getting a fairly reasonable amount of potency. We're going to be using potency 2 on the wands to kind of extend the diameter a little bit without going too overboard. I'm not worried about efficiency because what we learned very, very quickly was that the faster you mine, the faster you deplete the aura in the area that you're in. So there's really no point making it go as fast as possible because we're just sort of rushing the inevitable. See, Vorpal too. I'm getting like haste, for example. Yeah, see, haste is a Thaumcraft enchant. Frugal is a Thaumcraft enchant. You'll see those all over the place. I mean, we're getting Thaumcraft enchants, but we're not getting charging or repair at any rank. So I'm a little bit concerned. We're actually going to be redoing the experience grinder, but we're going to be using an Enderman shard instead of the skeletons, just because I can use Ender Pearls a lot more than I can use bones, and I don't know, something different. This guy isn't working as well as it could be. I actually replaced the pistons with more conveyor belts because the conveyor belts always work. The pistons sometimes don't. More importantly, we need to take a look resource-wise at what it's going to cost to make the rest of the arcane boars, because I'm going to be completely honest, this is my noviceness with Thaumcraft. I never even stopped to think about what I would need to finish making the arcane boars. So we're going to go down here. You can see I've made some additions. This is my auto feeding system for my crucibles. It's auto in the sense that once I've determined what materials I want to send to the crucibles, rather than having to run over to the crucibles and throw them in manually, I can just put them in these relays, and the relays will send them out to these relays, which plop them down into the crucible. I found one of my golems taking a bath in one of the crucibles the other day. I was just standing in there, I was trying to get some stuff done, and there's a golem in the damn crucible. They're crazy. I've also added more golems to automate the emptying of my alembics. You can see the guys holding the little glass files. Pretty handy stuff. I put a chest here as well so that I can keep track of the materials that I need in order to make the stuff that I need to make. Just got enough to give you an example of what's going on here, because this is just crazy. Oh my goodness, I couldn't believe what was going on until I started to understand what was going on, and then I just wanted to make it stop. Alright, so we need 12 each of these. Now, I've been giving a lot of thought to Thaumcraft and spoilers, and not wanting to ruin things for you guys, but then also realizing that the spoilers come in the research end of things, and sort of how to put together the different combinations of the different essentia to get the different researches. So it's not going to hurt you showing you the recipes for various different items that you can make with Thaumcraft, because you can find those in the wiki anyways. And it's also just like any other recipe, only with the added requirement of essentia. So you can see here I've got 3 different things. I've got Ender Pearls, courtesy of my adventures in the end, and it's got 3 different essentia. It's got the alien essentia that you get from the end. You've got the magic essentia, that's the purple one, and then you've got the crystal essentia, which is the crystals. Now, when I put one of these in the crucible, I only want the end, the swirly kind of pale purple one, and the other ones will go into my alembics, and my golems will gather those up. And then over here, we've got eggs, and I want the green arrows, the trade, not necessarily the food. And then here we've got pulverized lead, which I only want the white swirly thing at the end. I don't care about the metal or the exploding green thing. So what we're doing is we're making portable holes. Now these are a component in the production of the arcane boar head. I've already made all the arcane boar bases that I needed. I needed V to make the bases, but no essentia. I could do them on the other arcane work table, but these guys definitely need some essentia, and you can see here it tells you exactly how much of what you need. I need 16 permutatio, which comes from the eggs. I need 24 of the alienus, that's the eldritch, the end strange alien, right? And then I need 24 vacuose, empty, void, insubstantial, which comes from, in this case, I'm getting it from pulverized lead. Now, you can get it from things like empty glass bottles, and you actually get more per bottle, but I have so much pulverized lead and nothing to use it on that this actually works better for me. So it's really, really straightforward working out how much you need. So 16 permutatio, and I get 4 per egg, so if I use 4 eggs, I'll have 16 in my crucible that this table can draw from, and it'll be just enough to make this recipe. Same with the ender pearl, I need 24, and if I put 6 of these, I'll have 24, and these guys, I get 2 of the vacuose, so I need 12 of these in order to satisfy the recipe. And now, courtesy of my lame creativity, we put some ender pearls in there, put some eggs in there, put some pulverized lead in there, and they'll all kind of go wherever the tubes lead them, get dropped into the crucibles. There's the last one. And then, when I come back to the table, you can see these are all lit up, and my portable hole is there, and it takes not only all of this, but also 200 V. I have the best wand that you can get. It holds 1,000, so I can make 5 of these at a time before my wand is empty. So I'll make 1. And you can see in the background, my golems are just going bonkers, running around. They're getting water for the crucibles, and they're emptying out the various different alembics for bits and pieces. Now you can see this is incrementing very, very slowly, and it actually increments faster in your inventory, assuming that there's any V in the environment for it to take, which there's not, because I've already made a bunch of these. In fact, I should have them. Did I put them in? No, I didn't put them in there. I put them in here. So I've already made 7 of them. So now I've got 8. 1 more, and I'll have enough portable holes to make the arcane bores for 1 face out of 6 on the turtle. So let's look at what else we need to make the arcane bore heads, because we don't like I say, we don't need to make bases anymore. We just need the bore heads. We go down here, all the way down, 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 down. So to make the arcane bore, each bore head takes some gold, some arcane wood block, pistons, not a big deal. I could take a bunch of them out of the experience grinder. Warded jar, again, not a big deal. 32, 64, 24, 16, 32, and 125 V. So I can make 8 before I fully deplete my Thaumaturge's wand. So I just wanted to point this out to you guys if you were kind of wondering what's going on, and you know, we've got it almost built. Are we going to be seeing it working anytime soon? I hope so, even though it might only be 1 face, just doing a test to make sure that everything is going to work the way the frames are set up. It might not necessarily be a moving time-lapse of the thing tearing great gashes into the environment, but it's coming, it's on the way. So that's where we're at. I'm going to be spawning wisps and giant zombies and everything else I can think of at a feverish pace for the foreseeable future, trying to get the rest of the components made for this thing. And I promise you, in the next episode, we will do at least a 1-face demonstration of what the bore is going to look like when it's in operation. So I hope you're enjoying the series. We're almost done with this one. Wait till you see what we've got next. Thanks for watching, guys, and take care.